I deal with older men in the 50s, 60s, 60s, 70s. And if these guys are widowed or divorced or haven't had to have a relationship with someone, they want a prescription. The prescription is a profound confidence builder.
Yeah.
I'll sometimes tell these guys, hey, you want a prescription now, but if the relationship is good, you're not going to want another prescription because it's really about trust. It's not about the pill being magic. I got guys who tell me the pill works if it's in their on their night table. The pill works if it's in their wallet. It's just a confidence builder to them. And
Reassurance, it's there.
I mean, even if you look at the original Viagra, the 7 papers that Pfizer used when they applied to the FDA for Viagra, 2 of the papers showed no more benefit than placebo. The strongest benefit was in men who had prostate disease, and that's not most men. It's only a tiny minority of men. And most of the papers, the other 4 papers, showed benefit around 35 to 40%. But it wasn't a whopping benefit. It wasn't like, I take a pill and I get a boner. The benefit was really minimal and subjective. And that's where the data becomes important because the data makes subjective. I mean, I know with our device, and other men use our device, known as well too. Well, what's the right dose? Because the doctors will just, the doctor's approach right now without data is take 5. 5 doesn't work, take 10. 10 doesn't work, take 20. Well, maybe the problem is up here, and no matter what I take, it's not going to make a difference. And maybe at 20, get a headache from a side effect. So, but the way we're treating a problem without data is stupid. We don't treat blood pressure that way or cardiac arrhythmias that way. We
Right.
treat it with data. But the point I want to make about vibrators is that back in the 80s, there was still a certain embarrassment to women using them. Women would apologize if they took out a vibrator. Would never take out a vibrator on the second or third date, first or second date. Then they want to introduce it once they felt that there was trust. Now, and this whole kind of concern back then about vibrator addiction. Well, now they're normalized. People take them on dates. People. I don't know how many of my wife owns. They're normal, and they're powerful, and they're effective. And then there's a whole market of what sensation do you want? A rabbit? Do you want a dildo? You want wand? Blah blah. There's all these different forms and shapes. I want men to think about vibrators the same way. It's about wanting to not seeing it something as a crutch or an aid or an addiction, but as something that's positive, and ideally, of course, getting their partners to accept it as such.
And so a vibrator, obviously, that's for the lady. And so is that in addition to the ring just to add more enhancement for her?
Well, we actually have a vibrator that attaches to the ring. It's called a ring mate, and it's
Okay, yeah, I've
situated.
seen.
The vibrator is not in the cock ring itself because that's the wrong position anatomically. The vibrator is actually 3.5 centimeters away from the base of the dorsal shaft of the penis. So that's what the clitoris is. And there are several. We're not the only people making a device like that. What makes our device different is that it's smaller, it's more discreet, and it can be used solo by women or men as well too. So it's a finger vibrator basically when it's taken off the device, and that's kind of nice for both people because with the wand, with the wands you get there's wrist fatigue, whereas with something that's controlled with the fingers, it's easy in different positions to hit the
Yeah,
spot,
you
so
got
to
to
speak.
worry about carpal tunnel.
It's a problem. Remember my wife demonstrated to me. This is an awkward position with a large
Yeah,
device, especially
yeah.
for women as they get older. But the takeaway for men is put a ring on it. Don't see it as a crutch. See it as an enhancement, both you and your partner.
Okay. And so you have to own it. It's the way that you feel about it. It's enhancement. It's fitness, so to speak. So you
Right.
had said erectile fitness, calling it that and getting rid of this label of dysfunction. And so are there other ways for men to stay erectilely
Fit.
fit? I don't know if that's the right word.
Well, obviously you don't want to get winded. You want to be when you're having sex. You don't want to be in relatively good cardiovascular, condition. You don't want to smoke, and obviously excessive use of MDMA or alcohol is going to interfere with someone's performance. But it's
And how
not.
about
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Go keep going.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and how about porn and things like that? Is that going to be
I
getting
the
in the
whole
way?
the whole porn thing irritates me because I mean I have men who tell me that the wives catch them watching porn. They want them to go see a therapist because there's a porn addiction. It's not addicting. Porn's a pleasure for. I mean, by the way, women watch 40% of the porn, men watch 60% of the porn. No, there's no one out there complaining about how women have porn addiction. It's nothing that men get saddled with. Now there are men, obviously. Hey, look, if right now I were talking to you, but on my phone I'm streaming stiletto red heels and black stockings.
Hmm.
That's an addiction. I can't do my job without this thing. There are the therapists, urologists, and the sexologists are seeing men in their practices who are dysfunctional. They in terms of holding a job, in terms of having a relationship. But that's a minority of men. So why saddle all of us guys get with it's like dysfunction? Hey, I don't have dysfunction. I got a problem. I put a ring on it, the problem goes away. Why are we telling men porn's a pleasure? It helps with many relationships because a lot of relationships, the women don't want to have sex every day, and the guy wants to have sex every day. Well, porn becomes an outlet. Porn only for couples. Porn shows shows other ways of play and fun, etc. It's a turn on.